Well, this is my first Zoom video interview. I've done a lot of Zoom meetings, but this is actually my first Zoom interview, and I have none other than the soca man himself, Blood, with me here this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Well, boy, I have a feeling that there are a lot of similarities between what you're doing and what I'm doing right now because of COVID and the lockdown and, you know, adapting to life in a changed environment. How has that been for
That's
you?
right. I've been working through it, you know, and most people know that I'm a worker. So being locked down, I had to adapt really quickly. In fact, I even got into things like video editing and lyric video making outside of because obviously no one could come into the studio to record music, so I then had to take the music that was already recorded and start doing things with it and try to market it, you know, in a different way.
Mm-hmm. And what was the reaction to that? I mean, is there a revenue stream in all of this? Because I know one of the things that would have affected artists in particular artists, performing artists, is that there's nothing to perform for. There's nobody to perform for other than online. And how do you monetize that? So is in this alternative venture that you've been doing, is there a revenue stream?
Of course, there's a revenue stream coming from that. Having to because so many people are now focused on social media and watching. People are taking their songs and doing things with them. You can't get out now to actually get together and do videos. So, you know, presenting these songs with graphics and that kind of stuff is what you need to do. Get it out there so that people can still see it, right? And and there's a cost. Of course, you have to attach to that because there's time and effort that's put into creating these stuff. My music, on the other hand, now I've made sure that I got it out there on the platform so that it's available for download and streaming, etc., so that you can still create some kind of income.
As a performer, what for you has been the most difficult thing with coping with COVID-19?
Well, the major challenge is that one, you still have bills to pay, you know, and being a performing artist, that is where most of your income is generated, you know, when you go out there and you're doing stuff, you know, all the time. So the first thing, in fact, I think some of the first people to be affected by COVID-19 and the shutdown and that kind of stuff are the artists, because one, you couldn't go and mingle, you couldn't go, there were no crowds to go and perform to, so therefore incomes were cut almost immediately. And then what a lot of us did was try to stay relevant and do a lot of shows online, but there was no revenue at all, you know, being created, because most of them went online and did the concerts for free. So trying now to turn it around and ask people to pay to see artists or see a concert is going to be really difficult.
Are there any things that you found as a human being difficult to deal with or challenging?
Me as a human being, I take life in stride. And whereas, you know, there could have been so many negatives as it relates to COVID-19, I tried my best to, one, stay safe and to stay sane, you know, so I indulged
safe and sane.
That's right, safe and sane. I started working out, even working out at home, because I always, as much as I like to exercise and stuff, I never really liked working out at home. I had to find myself in a gym, but
really?
I had to, you know, so that is one of the things I found that I gravitated towards, you know, getting the discipline to get up or at least do it at night to keep myself fit, you know, and eat properly, cut back on the drinks, because then you couldn't mingle with the friends, and whenever you mingle with friends, drinks would be involved.
Yeah. I've always felt, and I still feel, that as an artist, that what our people need to do is to create products that have more of a global appeal rather than a local appeal. All right.
Yes.
And if I look at an artist, let me take the obvious one. I look at somebody like a Machel. Right now, you look at a Machel, and I don't think that being deprived of a live performance would hit him as hard as it would hit somebody else, because
Right.
he's got this global brand and his music is all over the world. So the royalties from his music are not dependent on what a local radio station in Trinidad and Tobago would play, because it is a global brand.
Yes.
Do you think that's a reasonable proposition?
Of course it is. I think that is exactly where we are. All of our heads should be at this point in time, really, because for most of it, we've been focusing on festivals and crop over and carnival, etc. So we create music, you know, for those periods and that period of time, and we forget that, you know, there are millions of people out there with feelings and attitudes and that kind of stuff, that once you create music and songs about life that can reach out to them and market to them, that
Right.
you can open markets for yourself. So we have to start thinking, you know, along those lines, because goodness knows when, you know, it's going to be really be able to open up and have large crowds together, because as a performer we need crowds, you know, because people pay
Yes.
to come and
Yeah.
see you, and then you get paid from performance, etc. So we
Mhm.
have to start looking at those, you know, those avenues, try to create music, one that at least has a balance, that you can still be connected to your people, you know, the people who follow you all the
Yes.
time, but
Yeah.
also to be able to touch somebody else out there that would not necessarily would have listened or heard the music before. I've been with a company now for a good couple of years called Faluma.com out of Germany, you know. So every single year that I put out music, you know, they get it first. And most of my sales, most of my online sales are not from the Caribbean or from the Caribbean diaspora. It's, you know, Germany, France, England, you know, people from different walks of life all together, just hearing a song or falling in love with it and that kind of stuff. So you never know exactly when a song is gonna catch, you know, and where it's gonna hit. So you just gotta keep making sure that you make the right music and
Yeah.
target different audiences, you know. Do all of it shouldn't be the same thing. You know, you're an artist and you got 12 songs, all should not be the saying the same thing or being the same way. You create and do different things and try to touch different lives positively, at least. Positively is the main thing, you know, because we can do some stuff that can negatively impact society as well. And we don't really, well, I don't subscribe to that. I decided that this year, being on the lockdown or whatever the case may be, I'm going to put out an album. So rather than like most people saying, I have 4 songs, 4 crop over, but I'm just gonna release one, you know, just to tease the areas. No, I'm putting on an entire album. It's called A Real Good Feeling. And by the time we are out of this COVID-19, everybody's gonna be having a real good feeling. And this album is going to be on all platforms from Friday, June 12th. It's already out there and it's going to be available on all platforms, iTunes, Deezer, Spotify, wherever. You know, so I've been working and I've been making sure, you know, to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and promoting, so that once it gets out there, people are aware that it is there. And hopefully my people right here in Barbados and in the Caribbean will buy into it. And of course, it's going to be out there for the entire world to access.
What advice would you give to artists who are out there right now and who may be struggling, who have probably largely depended on the live platforms, live performances and so on? What would you say to them in terms of what they need to do to ensure that they can survive, assuming that this is something they're committed to?
You show the music the respect and love it deserves. First of all, it's going to show you it back. If you largely depended on your performances in the past, make sure that one, you're still visible. You have to be visible for people to see you, because if they aren't seeing you or if they're not hearing you, you're going to be forgotten, right? All of your past performances, whatever the case may be, it's just going to go down the drain because you're no longer visible. You're not giving people something to actually say, well, he's still there, he's still with us, you know, and he's still under all of this stress and strain. Like I said, remaining sane is the main thing for a lot of people. A lot of people went into lockdown and went into depression because they no longer had music to our performances or clubs or the regular bar that they would go to that they could release when work is finished and that kind of stuff. So I personally made sure that everybody on my WhatsApp got blasts from me almost every day with brand new things of hope and that kind of stuff. I also started I have my YouTube channel, and I started doing something called Positive Vibes. And each morning I would get up and I would post no longer than about 2.5 minutes, of something inspirational so that people could wake up to something, positive, and to look to brighter things for the day or for the future.
Let's look forward now a little bit. Let us assume, as seems very likely, that COVID is going to be around for a while. It will obviously impact the performing industry as we understand it today.
And we have to find ways and means of coming out of it and creating new ways for money to pass from hand to hand, from business to business. Thank you so much.
Andy Blood, Armstrong, I thank you very much for taking some time out. I know these are challenging times. It is for us in radio too as well. We lost a large chunk of our advertising, but thankfully here at Capital, we didn't release any of our staff, even part-time. We kept everybody on, and we didn't furlough anybody, we didn't lay anybody off. But with the support of a few loyal advertisers, we've been able to, keep maybe barely, but keep our heads above water and keep paddling. So,
that's great. That's great stuff. And kudos to you and your crew. Yeah, man.
Well, and bring the music. We're happy to play the music. So Capital is here to play the music. Yeah.
Definitely, we will send you the music your way. Thank you so very much for having me today. It's been a pleasure. And it's great to know that this is the first, this is a first, right, for you and for
Thank you very much.
For me.
Blood.